So as you saw, this is a piece of apricot wood. I removed a small tree recently and decided to keep a piece or two of the trunk. This is the top of the trunk where two branches took off to become the upper portion of the tree. And I did a cherry piece recently where I did the very same thing. It had four limbs coming out of it, and that turned out really cool. So on this particular piece, only had two limbs. It didn't quite have the same shape, but I kind of went with the same program. And I cut those two limbs off. I'm going to make that portion the top and kind of shape it in a round or globish type shape. And in the meantime, we're just going to take all this bark off and slowly work our way to that process. So to keep you from getting too bored, I decided to only show about every third or fourth pull across this piece and try to highlight or show what the wood looked like as I was getting down closer and closer to the wood as the bark was coming off. But I also started turning the top portion up near the drive spur, turn it in kind of globe or roundish, pointy-ish, whatever you want to say. Turning it in because I knew that I had those two limbs cut off of there and I wanted to get that smoothed out. So just working my way across here, trying to figure out what to do with it, try to get an idea what it felt like or looked like. And my thought was it looked like a missile or warhead or something like that. It just started looking kind of odd. So shortly here, I actually turn it around and, or actually I cut it off and I will turn it around before I put a tenon on here. But just cut off a large section of it, set it aside for later, and we'll figure out what to do with that portion next. But it was just too long, didn't know what to do with the rest of it, and just thought I'd get it small, make it smaller right here, and just use the upper portion of it. Right here. So, yeah, just like that olive out there, it'll crack. So I finally got this piece turned around, and this was my first look at the front of it from this angle, and I really hadn't paid much attention to it as I was shaping that log, but I was starting to get blown away by this color. I was like, what in the heck am I getting into here? That is that crotch wood, but a little unusual from anything I've really had lately. It didn't really have typical crotchwood look, but it had almost like a crack down the middle with some light color, like the sapwood around the edges had been highlighted there. But man, it was really bright and beautiful, and I thought, man, this is really interesting. Let's just see where this can go. Crack on that line later. That's okay. We'll just put some epoxy on it. Since this is a green turn piece of wood, I usually don't sand them this much, but I wanted to see what the color was like, so I wanted to put wax on it to highlight the color. My only concern is down the road, I don't want that wax to interfere with the finish, but I think I'll be scraping most of that outer layer off at that time, and who knows, by that time the wax might be completely evaporated. But I wanted to see it, and I wanted to kind of do a little sanding on it. So I just used regular sandpaper to kind of sand it to give it a little better texture. I recently purchased some Abranet, which is supposed to work with water a little better. And maybe I'll do like a water pop on this next time. I want to see how well it works with green wood, just so you can at least see the grain and what you're going to get down the road. So I did it with wax and regular sandpaper. It worked pretty good. Definitely gummed up the sandpaper pretty bad though. It's pretty much shot after that. Kind of looks like an acorn. Apricot, green turned, hollowed to about 1 inch thick all the way through. I left the tenon and the base on it for next time. I can re-grab it and then shape it and then cut it off, or cut it off and then put a new attachment on there, just to see what's best. I expect it to crack and warp in the meantime quite a bit, and that's what epoxy is for, is to repair those cracks and fill those voids. So beautiful color though. I was looking forward to a nice fruit piece. That last cherry piece was so beautiful, I wanted to kind of go with that again. Anyway, until it dries, we'll wait and come back again.